So we all know the word normal, right? Not deviating from the norm or conforming to a type, categorized by average intelligence or development. Now check this out. It's called Normal Gets You Nowhere, and it's written by reality TV actress Kelly Cutron, who also wrote the bestseller, If You Have to Cry, Go Outside. She joins us this morning from New York. Hi, Kelly.
Hi, Nikki. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being with us.
I'm in love with Albuquerque. I love it.
Oh, I love that. Well, when you're in town, you'll have to
place.
come here in person and talk to us.
Yeah, I would like to buy a place down there for sure. I'd like to retire in New Mexico. Are you kidding me?
We'll talk. We'll talk.
Beautiful.
In the meantime, I want to ask you, because I love the titles of both your books, by the way, but what was your inspiration for this book?
My inspiration for Normal Gets You Nowhere came as a result of kind of just watching what happened in my own life. You know, my mom was always like, you know, you have to be quiet and fit in and, you know, be nice, Kelly, and be respectful and, you know, don't say the wrong thing and become a nurse. And none of that really worked for me. And one thing that I found is that the more and more I became myself and the more I could speak for my own self and have my own truth, the more successful I became. And so then I started to look to, you know, history, and that also proved to be true. I mean, people like Rosa Parks, you know, she didn't want to sit on the back of that bus one more day, and Nelson Mandela, and I mean Florence Nightingale, Amelia Earhart. I mean, how horrible would it have been for Amelia Earhart to be a housewife? Can you imagine?
Housewives of airplanes.
To have that spirit and to be at home making pies every day.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
And it's a good point, because
you know,
you're telling people it's okay to stand out.
I think that standing out is really important right now, because there are a whole bunch of people trying to fit in and the world is not getting better. And, you know, it's thousands and thousands of years of evolution and we still are not getting anywhere. So my whole thing is that we need, you know, I mean, we're as unique as our fingerprints. There's only one of those in the whole world, and that's ours. And we need to learn what it is that the divine has us doing here and what we have to offer. Whether it's, you know, raising a grandchild or, you know, working or, you know, transforming yourself or whatever it is.
Well, and that goes back to what you said.
Any job or profession.
Well, what you were saying before, Amelia Earhart being a housewife, I mean, what you just said, though, now is true. I mean, housewives stand out, too. They're raising children. They're raising our leaders of tomorrow.
No, I'm not dissing.
You know?
No, I'm a mom, and I'm not dissing housewives at all. What I'm saying is that to have the spirit of somebody who wanted to go out and fly a plane every day at a time when most women were not encouraged to do that, let alone, you know, had very little power.
It's true, and everyone, no matter what they do, they can find some way to follow their passions and their spirit, and that's a great point. And, you know, I would ask you, what is the first step you would recommend to people towards reinventing yourself or creating your own brand?
I think that, you know, as far as reinventing yourself and creating your own brand, it's good to just take a minute and sit down and actually be quiet with yourself. So many people have a hard time just actually sitting down with themselves and quieting your mind and figuring out what is it that you really want to do and go back to that time. And when we see our kids, they're so full of imagination and so full of dreams, you know, and try to get back to that time and figure out who was trying to squash them, make sure you nix them, get rid of them, or don't bring your dreams to people who can't help hold them for you.
Right.
You know,
so to motivate you, not squash your dreams.
That's right. And so if you're around a bunch of squashers, then you need to find some non-squashers or keep quiet, because you don't need people trying to stop you from getting your dream. So the first thing is to sit down and just be quiet with yourself and think, if I could do anything in the world, what would I want to do? And come up with 3 or 5 things. I mean, if you're 5 foot tall and you want to be a runway supermodel, probably not the best dream. So it's good to have a few of them, right?
Exactly. Be realistic.
That's right. But, you know, I mean, I don't even think, like, I couldn't be a basketball player because I'm not tall enough. But, you know, to really sit down and just really have a few good dreams and go for them, because one of them will pay out, and success is a lot easier to have than we actually think.
It sure is, and I think that takes us back to thinking about when we were in college. And there's a lot of kids out there graduating. They're going to be graduating within the next month or two, and they're going to be looking for work. So they have dreams. What advice would you give to them in this scary time?
For kids like leaving college right now, I think it's a great time to actually sit down and figure out what you really want to do, because I wouldn't go out and interview for jobs that you don't want. What's the point? Just to say that you have a job? I mean, I'd rather get a job bartending and like hold out for the job that I want, or go and travel and then become really competitive about the interview, you know, and really know the company that you're going to, and think about what you have to offer this company. You know, I interview people all day long and they go, well, I love fashion. And I go, how do you know? You work at Club Monaco. Monaco. You don't know anything about the fashion. You know, work at a retail store. What do you know about producing fashion shows? What do you have to offer my office? What can you bring to me? Why do I need you, and why should I give you a check? And so, and not to also say things like thank you in advance in their interview. Like, oh, you know, I just want to say thank you in advance. Like, thank you in advance for what? I'm not hiring you.
I love it. I love it. You just tell it like it is.
Don't be too familiar with your interviewer either, and go out there and be really competitive, and go for a job that you want, because your passion for that job is going to come through in the interview.
And it's something you're going to have to carry with you for years to come if you continue along in that job or career.
That's right.
So
yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, that's right. And like, pick something that's going to be fun and that's on your dream list, especially before you get bogged down with kids and more responsibility as you get older. I think, you know, 15 to 32 is a time for yourself, and it should be spent doing what you want to do, not, you know, taking on too much responsibility, having a good time and enjoying your life.
And it looks like you're doing what you love to do, and we love to read your books. Kelly Cutron, thank you so much for being with us, and good luck.
Thanks, Nikki. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
See you later.